So
Okay. So have you started recording?
Just turned it on, yes.
Okay. Well, welcome to the third session of the Enterprise with Soul for Moon Mothers. This lovely group of women who are going to take over Australia. And today we have another special guest speaker, which is Vivian Evans, who's going to be talking to you a bit about online communicating and facilitating, utilising audio visuals and webinars and so on. And I'll be speaking a bit about some online sites that can be useful that don't cost much too. So first of all, we've got Ruth. Ruth has very kindly sent in her little bit of homework, and we'll look firstly at what her intention and mission is, and you can see it here on the screen. I'm just going to move these faces over the other side. That's better.
I've done that too.
Yeah, is that better?
Well, I think it only affects you choose yourself if you want to control what you see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was blocking out the writing.
Yes.
So did you find it a bit challenging to write down your intention, Ruth, and get it to...
Yeah, because usually when I have to do homework, any homework and just writing, sorry, I feel like a big resistance just to start, But once I start, I put like a creativity, or I really enjoy, and I don't know why. Because the same happen when I have to do homework, English homework, it's like, oh, I have to do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh. And when I put the effort just to do it, it's like, oh, wow, it's not too bad.
I think
Get started is the first challenge, yes.
I think that's fairly normal, Ruth.
Really, I don't know.
It's okay.
Maybe it's because of the word of homework that maybe in the past I have a kind of resistance just to know homework. Is like, oh, I have to.
So we'll call it enterprise tasks. How about that?
Okay, maybe better for me.
Enterprise tasks from now on. Here comes Carolyn. We're just waiting for Carolyn to come on. So turn your video on, Carolyn. Hello, Carolyn.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We've just made a bit of a start, so we'll keep going. Ruth has done her enterprise task, and she's in the first bit here. We're just looking, and she's agreed that we can use it as a learning thing for everyone. So we're looking here at her intention or mission to give all women the healing that is needed, all the healing that is needed to empower themselves. I think it's great what you put down. What your next step with this could be, Ruth, and all of you who are looking at your intention, is to imagine that you're standing in front of someone who's asking you, what do you do? And then think about this sentence or these two sentences and whether or not you can say them easily to a person. So I think how you could probably say that to make it easier for you to say in a sentence is to say that I help women learn to connect with their feminine energy through various methods of energy healing and awareness. How does that sound?
No, that sounds really well.
So if you jot that down, that might be helpful, because this is tapping into what Carolyn emailed me. Thank you for sending that, Carolyn. That's a really good question that you had on how to engage in dialogue with people about what you're doing. So as we discussed up in Brisbane, because it's very different here to Europe, I think we need to really watch our terminology. So if you're saying, so if you're saying to women here in Australia, as you probably have gathered by now, Ruth, you know, women think a bit differently to what they do in Spain about their bodies and their female processes. And they're quite anal, really. So if you say things like womb blessing, womb healing and all that, and worldwide womb blessing to start with, you'll probably turn them off straight away. So if someone's saying to you, the reason why I wanted you to write out your intention and mission is that then makes it easier to write your elevator pitch, that 1 or 2 short sentences that explains to people what you do. So you can turn this intention or mission into your elevator pitch now, because you've obviously thought about it a lot, and now you have your avatar, you can do it too. So you can extend that to say, I help women who want to feel fantastic about their menstrual cycle and their women's well-being. I help them, you know, by helping to engage the female energy and learn more about the processes. So therefore you're not saying so much about womb blessing, womb healing. You can introduce that all later when they're ready for the shock of it all.
Yeah, that's true.
That's real. What do you think, Carolyn? Because that was your question.
Yeah. I think you're right. That's why when I held the group, where I advertised about the blessing group, I just actually put female energy awakening, and then in small letters, worldwide womb blessing.
Yeah. And what was the reaction of people to that?
I think the female energy awakening, they were very intrigued because they didn't
That's
really
good. That's good.
Was, yeah. But then the womb blessing, actually the day before the actual gathering, a lot of the women were texting me, and one of the women was great because she had about 8 other women that she invited, so she was very positive. But then she actually read the email that I sent about the worldwide womb blessing, and she was sending messages like, "Is this about fertility?"
Yeah, really?
And then she was sending other messages like, "What if you don't have a womb? What if you don't have a cycle?" So I think all her friends were asking all these questions.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So that means that you can make up a flyer that can be used online or to hand out that addresses all those questions. So if what might be helpful is you go back over the event page that I did for Moon Mothers for Brisbane, and if you have a look at that page, I'll actually, on the Radiant Woman book, if you wouldn't mind typing this in, Viv, in the chat box, radiantwomenbook.com, so www.radiantwomenbook.com. If you go to the events page, and if you go down to the second event, which is the Brisbane event, I haven't taken it down yet because I haven't put another one on yet. Hi, Tamara, we'll get to you in a sec.
It took me a while to figure this out, but I got it. I'm back. Hi.
That's okay.
And ChatGPT.
So we're just talking about your intention and mission combined with the avatar and the women that you want to attract, Tamara.
Yeah.
So if you go to the events page and have a look through the information on that page, that's going to give you a fair bit of things to work with, because that content was developed around the avatar that we wanted to attract. And we say things like, you know, we've got a woman on it who's saying, you know, she's menopausal but found it great. So you can take anything you need, copy and paste anything you need off that page before I take it down. I think you'll find it very useful because I had to develop an avatar, a specific avatar for events, and we got a hell of a lot of interest in this event. But the people who came were the people who were meant to come, but there was a lot of interest. There's people interested for when the next one. There's probably about 40.
Where'd you go? Is she back? Where'd she go?
I think we just lost her, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might have accidentally bumped it.
Oh,
I'll just see. I'm sending her a text message.
Yeah. Maybe she doesn't know she's got cut off.
Well, she probably does because she wouldn't see what's going on. Yeah. So what's going to be happening, I'll give her a moment to come back in, but just to let you know, I'm going to be talking and sharing some of the resources in terms of connecting with people as well. So if she takes a while to get on, I'll kick off with that, but we'll see. So Tamara and Tash, have you had a chance to have a look at the avatar and your mission?
I haven't. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't had a chance to read over the material.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so what's happened is her computer turned itself off and it's restarting. So maybe there was an update and she's misspotting it. So I'll do my presentation. And then that way we can won't lose any time. Okay, awesome. Okay, isn't it good having two people work together makes life so much easier when you're online. So always nice to have a partner in crime, I think, for presentations. So I'm going to share my screen and tell you about some of the key tools that I find for connecting. So connecting with clients, connecting with partners. So you might work with somebody else and partner online, or tools that you can actually record and do videos with. So does anyone do videos at all, you know, through maybe, tell me, what have you got any videos that you do yourself? You don't have to. I'm just curious.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. So there are some like Facebook where you can do, oh, Wendy, you're back?
Yes, sorry, I don't know. My computer turned itself off. It's very clever.
It might have done
and then turned itself back on again.
An automated update.
Yeah, you keep going.
Okay.
We'll kick in with the rest after.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and then show you some of the tools that that we use and that I use. So there's lots of different virtual rooms. Now we're using Zoom, and the really great benefit of Zoom so far is that it's actually free to use with just a small number of people. Now there's lots of different virtual rooms out there, and I have one, you know, that costs $800 a year. That, you know, there's really different prices on what. Now my area is actual virtual conferencing, and I've been doing it for over 10 years, mostly through education. But Zoom is a fantastic one in that it's free. Now, when I say it's free currently, you never know. When things are free, businesses will often give you. I'm just going to try and see if I can get back to the little the chat box, which I can't see. Here I go. Here, there we go. So, zoom.us is the website. And you can register, and you just go, you can register up the top and join in. Now you can have, your meetings will last for about 45 minutes and then you'll get kicked off. But that's not bad if you're trying to collaborate with someone and have a meeting with someone. So I'd do it with somebody you're comfortable with to begin with. And all you need to do is go to host a meeting. Now just worried about how I share it. So this is, now I'm paid, so this might be slightly different, but we have, we schedule a meeting, and so this is how I've scheduled yours. And so I've given it a title. You put the timing in, so you can click the date and the time, and you can scroll down and you can save it. So let's see. I'm just going to call it test meeting. Well, we'll go collaborative. Oh, someone's rustling some paper. Collaborative meeting, and you choose the time. So it's going to be, I might do one for 6 o'clock tomorrow. And basically, the other things you can keep on their own.
Whoever's rattling something, can you please stop?
I think it might be my headphones.
Oh, okay.
I only just put them in, so I'll take them out and see if it stops. So
I'll press mute for you. And there we go. So you can still hopefully hear Tash. Yeah? Okay, so it might be that. Righto. Now I've got, my little account's got a whole host of different pieces. I won't show you too much of that, but it's well worth a try. And then when you're ready, so I think it's really only the time, the information, how long the meeting is. You check your time zone so that you're in the right time zone for you, and then you press save. And then you can copy the invitation. So really handy. It has it all set up, and all I need to do is select all, and it gives you the information to set up a meeting. So as I suggest, having it so that you just connect with someone you're comfortable with and have a play, and so you can have it like a phone conversation, but you're talking. So you only need 1 or 2. So Wendy, you use it quite a bit, don't you, for collaborating with lots of people, your own room?
I do. I just do it a bit differently from that, which is actually a lot easier.
And is that where you have your own profile and you have your own room?
The free one.
Yes.
When I use the free one, I think this might be easier for them to start with. Let me just see. I didn't know about the way you did it, so that's really good to know.
Bless you.
Where did I put myself?
Bless you.
Thank you.
But the other way is if you have your profile and you have your own room, and that number is always your room, so you can just have a quick meeting with anyone. It's the same address every time.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how I do it is I just go to Zoom.
Yes.
And you just click on invite, and I'll show you because it's really, oh no, I can't do it while I've got you on here.
Yeah.
You just invite whoever, and you put their email in, and it sends them directly an email with the link.
Right.
So it's interesting to see the way you do it.
And for me, because I have so many, I tend to do it this way, so I know where everyone's coming up in the week.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't know you could do that. And I also use zoom.com.
Zoom.com.
Yeah.
Right. Zoom.com. Let's see what that does. This can't be reached. Oh, no, I'm missing it. Yeah, it's not telling me.
Oh, well, maybe it just sent it to the other one. But anyway, It's very handy, ladies. Just you can have you been meeting for your mastermind groups? You can use it for that.
That's a possibility. So when you're actually in Zoom and in the room, you can record. And so one fantastic way you can do it is that you open up the Zoom room and you record. Don't worry about even having anyone else in the room. And you could be sharing on your screen and you can record. And when you're finished, when you close the room, it automatically opens up a recording link. Now, I won't show you that now because it's not going to work with us being in a room, but I have already pre-recorded a video which I'll share. So so once you've got it, the other way you can record video is that you can do just on your camera. So if you've got your mobile phone, so you can do it that way. And also if you're in Facebook, I don't know if any of you have tried the real time on Facebook. So if I open up that one.
You mean Messenger?
No, not Messenger. Well, you can meet with someone, but you can actually do a live video on Facebook, but you've got to be prepared. It'll record on the spot and go out live, and people will see you live. So that's another interesting way to do it, to connect with people. But that's more, you randomly do it and it'll pop up with all your friends and it'll say. So that's quite a different scenario. So I find Zoom's a fantastic way, your phone, and doing your own personal video where you turn it around and record yourself. And a great investment for me has been a selfie stick. So you can extend it out and get a really good angle. So that's another possibility. So that's with the recordings. Now and I would keep, if you're going to do a recording, do it really short. Don't do too big. And it could be about the very things that you're doing now with your own message. And what I've opened up here is YouTube. And YouTube has a fantastic way of allowing you to upload and edit and control who sees what's happening. So when you've finished doing your video, you can and the YouTube one's a neat way, it has it on your computer, and you need to join YouTube. So there's a few things, and I would take it one step at a time. So playing around with your video, and I'll be sharing with you, following up with some information to share with you too, with some additional recordings. But when you're in YouTube, you have an arrow. It's at the top of every page. It's called upload. And I've actually created a video of all this as well, which I'll share. But all you need to do is select on the screen, and you can upload and go to your files. And with Zoom, it automatically, in documents on your computer, that'll probably be in My Documents, there's a folder created by Zoom itself. And it sets up, and you can see how many I do, too many. What was the date of our last connection? Were we
2 weeks ago. I'll have a look. Hang on.
So,
like the 3rd or something, wasn't it?
2 October.
2?
The 2nd of October.
2nd of October. Okay, so if we click on that one, and so what it does is it actually creates a number of files. So we have an audio file. So this is Zoom. Zoom creates a sound file, so you might use it as a podcast. It has the chat, and it has this one I don't really use, that playback one, but the Zoom MP4, and it actually has that's the video, and that's the one that you could upload to YouTube. So it might be the right one. I have a feeling it's a different one though, with the 2nd to the 4th. Oh, so this one, if you actually label the recording in the meeting, it'll automatically label it, or you can change it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's one that Wendy and Rebel did an interview together for another project that we're working on. So if we went to that one and we open it, it then starts to upload it. And you can put a description in. And what I always do when I'm uploading is I always set it to be unlisted so that no one can find it. You can see it's loading in the background. We've got uploading. It's really quickly. And I can change the title, I can change the description, and I can put tags on it too. So we're getting fairly complicated. And when it loads, it will also put up what they call a thumbnail, so an image that'll be a choice for when they're listed in YouTube. So really I would be practicing first with just playing around with video and just seeing how, and it could be tips. And the fantastic and the best thing I think about using Zoom is that you don't have to have you on camera. You could actually have a PowerPoint presentation and you don't need to be on camera. Turn your camera off in Zoom, have your PowerPoint, share the screen like what we're doing now, or what I'm doing now, and then you can actually have the process. So you can be giving instructions. It could be about exploring your website and the different pages on it. It could be a PowerPoint about moon mothers and you have images ready to go and then you're just sliding through and talking. And so by doing some recordings, you close the room and then it'll automatically save on your computer and you can actually have a bit of a play with it. Now, and the thing about if you have a PowerPoint is it helps you with a bit of a script as well, because it gives you a trigger rather than standing here and just talking. That can be sometimes a challenge. So that's just a possibility. Has anyone got any questions about that? There's a lot there.
Do you have to create a separate channel for each video, or can you put them all on the same channel? How does that work?
No, so you have them all. I have all my videos, I only have one channel, and yes, you can add them to playlists. And so I have different groups. So I've got an enterprise with Soul, because and we'll put all the recordings that are on and they'll be grouped. Yes. I do a live at lunch every Thursday. I do a free webinar and I have different entrepreneurial women speak. And so they're all collected in that and I just tick the folder. And this example of this video that we're uploading now is to do with a course that Wendy's doing called Thriving Through Menopause, or Thrive Through Menopause. So I could tick it there and it would be staying in that group and collection. So YouTube, like lots of things. Now see this, it's automatically come up as it's loaded and finished, come up with 3 different images. So, and I don't want to be a part of it, but my photo came up right at the start.
Oh, you do so.
So you can choose to have Wendy's image, or you can upload an image that you want, that you might have already in a program. So, you're in a folder and you could upload. And look, YouTube's just popped up, sent me a message. Congratulations, my video's now on YouTube.
So,
yes, Carolyn.
So if it's unlisted, because you said it was on, you've
yes,
made it unlisted. So people can't find it. You've got to send them a link. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's right. So all our the ones that we're doing enterprise with Soul, we don't want everyone to see it, but I've put it unlisted and I've selected, I've given you the link. So when it's finished over here, it says that's what the video link is. So I've got a link already to go and I could share it with you. And if the other options are public, where it could be found, unlisted means that it's there and people can find it if you give them the link. So if you've got clients that you only want people who are paying, you can have a whole series of videos made and only those people who pay get to see your videos. Yeah. And then private ones mean that no one can see it, only you can. And this one here I haven't tried, but it's got scheduled. So that would mean that there'd be a scheduling of when it would be released. So you might plan that in, February next year that it would come out as a release. I've not tried it. It's going grey here, so I don't know if I've even got that as an option, but I've never tried it. So that's a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you've done it and you're happy, if I had a description in here, tags is another thing. So tags are like themes or topics. So if you're wanting it to be public and we wanted everyone to know about enterprise, say, for example. People might use that as a word to look up, or it might be people want to look up, Wendy's got a program on menopause, so put menopause in. If someone was on YouTube and they wanted to find out about menopause, they would put in that for a search. These words would come up. So that's your tags. They've got, so, and you can give as many tags as you like, but they're like search words that people would search to find your video.
Okay. So is it possible to show this video, because I want to show them something?
This particular video?
Yes, I just want to show them the first few seconds when Rebel comes on.
So that's it. That's the link there, and it's come up. So
Yep.
I'll pop it in. I've just copied it.
Yep.
Put it in there.
Now, this is going to be an enterprise task for you ladies to do in the next 2 weeks, because I want to show you how the screen changes when each person speaks, because I think it's going to be great if you can actually get on Zoom.
I'll just mute that. Yes. So, would you like? Do you want to be hearing the video, or what would you?
Yes. Like? Yep. Just keep it going until Rebel comes on.
Okay.
Woman Network Thrive Through Menopause program. I'm really fortunate today to have Rebel Black from the Rural Woman Network. Hello, Rebel. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, Wendy. Happy to be here.
Okay, you can stop it there.
Yeah.
So, did you see how the screen changed to whoever was talking, ladies? So that means when Viv's finished, just remember that, okay? Because I'll give you a task to do later that's really going to help you with your marketing quite a bit.
Okay. And then
go on, Viv. Thanks for that.
Yeah. And
yes, we've got to edit that network.
So I've actually already edited this version. So this was the raw version. You saw how my face came up at the front. We didn't want that, so I've done some editing. And YouTube currently allows you to edit and crop. And now there's a whole host of instructions that will come with that. But there is a possibility to enhance videos, add audio and music, and add things at the start and the end. But that's fairly complicated. I think if you keep things simple, or there's a way some of you may have on your own computer other video editing programs, but that's coming a lot. That's doing it fairly involved. But I think with Zoom, you keep it short and sweet and have it with the presentation. You'll experience things, and I've done it, where you do the recording and then you go to play it back and you go, because there was no one else in the room, no one told me that my microphone wasn't on. So you end up, it takes a bit of practice getting into the routine. But they're really valuable. But the thing about Zoom, YouTube's one thing with videos, but a really valuable thing with Zoom is about connecting and partnering with clients and talking with people. So there's a nice, quick way. It's free to make a call and see people face to face. Yeah. And you've got the option of recording it. And if you play around, you've got a great resource that you can use, making your own videos or making connections. There's another little tool I wanted to share with you that I haven't used a great deal, and that's called Toggle. And when Toggle, yes. So it's www.toggl.com. I've only used the free version, but in our very first session when Wendy was talking to you, she was talking about how to see how much time you spend in your day on different activities. Toggle allows you to record, and you can see here on Monday that I did some Girl Guide work, so that's my volunteer work, and I did an hour and 17 minutes. That I did some work with Wendy, and I did 3 hours on working with recordings and things like that. I spent half an hour on my finance management. I worked with another potential partner and spoke with her for 45 minutes about a project. And then I did some tea tasting, which was preparing for some live events. So with another collaboration. So for me, that worked out where my day was and what I was doing. And it's an interesting, so if I'm working right now, oops, the screen's popping up. So it might be easier if I do a demonstration at another time because I'm aware I'm using a fair bit of time at the moment.
So does that record it after you've done the work or you put it in beforehand?
Yeah, so what you do is you say, like, I'm starting to type Wendy, and so I can do webinar facilitation, and the timer started working.
Okay, so it's during.
Yeah, so it's actually timing what's going on. And if I stop it, and it's saying, because I haven't been recording much, I haven't recorded anything today. I understand there's a phone app with it too. So it's just an interesting tool that can, if you're worried about you're spending too much time maybe volunteering or too much, or you're wanting to know how much to charge someone. Like I'm creating websites for people and I'm not sure how long it actually takes. So in the first few initial ones, I'm timing it. So then I know in the future, okay, so I actually spent 12 hours creating a basic website. And so I'll know in the future. So my pricing mightn't be perfect in the first time round, but it'll give me a really good idea of where I'm heading. So it has here, now we've got the stop and the start. And if we have, I'm going to go for a new project. Or we can go into business management, and so we can find a project, we can create a new project, and I can say, say if it was Moon Mothers, it comes up with the own colour code. It can be my workspace. It could be that I have a client, so you have to add a new client if you had a new client there. So say I might have Caroline as an example, and I'll add there. So I've got a Moon Mothers project. I'm working with Caroline. It's under her project, and I can say whether it's private or not, and then I can create the project, and I can put a description. So it could be I'll just go with movie making, just to keep in with what we're doing right now. And so there it is. So it's now doing, so I've got who I'm contracting to, what my project's about, the whole big thing, and then the actual activity. So it's an interesting thing. It's free. They do ask me, you know, down the bottom, they ask to be more effective and upgrade now. But if you see that as a value at some stage, it's worth, I don't know, I've only played with it a little bit, but I just think it's a really useful tool that can help with costing. Because for me personally, I find it challenging to cost myself. And at least this way it's working out how much time I'm putting into things.
Yeah, that's very good, because if you write it all down on paper, you end up losing the paper.
And if you come back to here and I go, oh no, I forgot to start it at the right time, I can say, oh no, well I actually started this at 8 p.m. and I can actually edit the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and say if it was 9 p.m. So it is possible to think afterwards if you didn't do it straight at the start, and then it's changed it to how long I've put the timer in for.
Okay.
Yeah. So a handy little tool that I've only found recently. So that's Toggle, www.toggl.com.
Thank you. Good stuff.
Okay, so that's lots there, and I'll share those as little mini recordings as well, so you've got some resources to go on with.
Okay, so if you didn't take that all in, ladies, you can keep going back over it, just like everything else.
Yeah.
Makes more sense when you start applying things.
Yes. Another fantastic tool's Google Drive, but I think we best leave it for another time, Wendy.
Yes, yeah. Google Drive's what I've been making this presentations in. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Viv.
My pleasure.
Good stuff. So why we wanted to share that with you is that you've all asked about marketing and how do I get the word out. Forget about writing heaps of content, except for content on, if you have a look at the events page of the website. I even had feedback from men who went on that page for the Moon Mothers thing in Brisbane saying, oh, I kept reading through it, I wanted to go to it, you know. So it just depends how you write the content. But if you want to connect with your avatar, your ideal clients, it's good to have a mixture of media to do it. So you might have some images that you use, and I'll actually I'm going to email you a sheet that I've done with some other free or very cheap resources that you can use. And doing little 2 to 3 minute videos can be one of the most valuable things you can do. And what might be really good in the next 2 weeks is if you pair up and get onto Zoom, the free Zoom, and interview each other. So, you know, in that interview with Rebel that you saw, and you saw how when I was talking, you could see me. When it switched to Rebel, you couldn't see me and you could see Rebel. So if you four paired up, two together, and if you interviewed each other, or you had a bit of a live chat, not a formal interview, I tend to do live chats, and did one each for each other and said, oh, you know, I'm talking to Caroline here today, and Caroline's a qualified moon mother and blah-de-blah-de-blah. And you might be wondering what that means. And so you might then say, Carolyn, what is a moon mother and what is female awakening energy? And you might just have 2 or 3 minutes maximum where you have a bit of a chat about it. And so you could do a series of little videos that you post. So you could actually tell your friends and everyone that you're going to be posting a series of mini chats about what you're doing. And that's how you're going to get people interested. So Carolyn, when you were saying, you know, how are we going to engage people, what dialogue and so on, I think the sort of women that you're all your ideal clients are going to be very responsive to videos. What do you think of that idea?
Okay.
Look, it's easy to do. I can even do it, you know. Just join up on zoom.us, create an account and start. That's all you have to do. It's got a recording button. Just have a play around with it. If you don't do that, you can do a video on your phone, but that's a bit harder to upload without it going distorted these days. I don't know what's happened with the mobile phone people, but it's hard to upload videos with them being pure enough from your phone.
I think with the phone, I think I heard that if it's over a minute, then it's a minute, like a 1 minute recording, it has trouble up. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not going to get enough information in a minute.
Mm.
It's good to do little things like, hey, you know, come and join us at such and such a hall. We're having, you know, we're doing a session on menstrual awareness or, you know, whatever you're going to be doing. But if you can pair up and do a video chat for each other, then you'll have a promotional tool to start using straight away. And you make it chatty. You basically imagine that you're talking to each other. You're having a chat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you're in the room, you can turn the recording on so you can be chatting first and then go, right, are you ready? And then you start it and then you go, oh no, hang on, I've stuffed up. And then you go, let's go again. And you go again. I mean, Wendy and I do, don't we, Wendy?
Oh, we stuff it up all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
No. And then,
We did a
yeah, so it's about, it's just getting comfortable with the idea. And so I think, yeah, having that conversation will be a fun way of doing it. And then at the end, you've got a resource you can use.
And I'm telling you now, if you do not become familiar with online technology, you may as well forget trying to connect with your ideal clients. It's just not going to happen. You'll be able to certainly do local things like flyers and that, but when you're looking at your marketing, you need to have probably at least 5 things that you're doing. So you might develop some flyers to give out locally. You might do a little video series. You might do some Facebook posts with some images. You might do a newsletter, and you might go and speak at a women's circle. So, that's 5 things that are quite easy to do. And did you receive that document I sent you, Viv, as an attachment?
When was that, Wendy?
Today. Today.
I told you a bit about my day today.
Yes.
So no.
Well, I just needed you to open that up and type in the URLs.
Oh, okay.
Into the chat box.
I will go and check that.
Yeah. So I'm just telling you now a few that I use all the time, and I'll send you some examples. I've got to write myself notes so I do this. Examples. Have you heard of canva.com? C-A-N-V-A?
No.
So one other thing that you'll find very handy to do is to develop some of your own designs when it comes to flyers and posters and things like that. And I use a couple of different things, but probably the handiest one for you is canva.com, and I will share that screen now so that you can have a quick look at it. I'm not going to bamboozle you with it. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. And I'll email you a few examples of what I've done on it so you can see. Okay, where have you all gone? Okay, share screen. Have I shared that?
You did share it. It's gone now.
Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to give you a lesson in Canva. I tell you, guys, you are young. If a couple of old dinosaurs like us can do it, it's a great, you're a shame to your generation if you can't do it. When I need something done, I ask my son or Viv. So this is really easy. Like, I'm forever making things. Here are some of my designs. Okay, now this is one that I just did because I just changed my Facebook page for Radiant Women to include Natural Woman Network in it and the Thrive things. Okay, and that's on my LinkedIn page as well. So you can do banners and hang on, just going back one. You can do, okay, here's a Thrive Through Menopause image that is similar to what we're using in.
You're not sharing your screen now, I don't think, Wendy.
Oh, aren't I? Oh, okay.
And Ruth has suggested that she uses moo.com.
Yeah.
So another graphic design page, Ruth.
So do you want to type that in? Is that already the URL in the...
For moo.com, yes, and Canva. I've posted the note on your page.
Okay, so whatever I'm just giving you a few, we're both just giving you a few examples of things that you can use that don't cost much or anything. This is the free version of Canva. Can you see that now? Have I shared it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going back to something else I did. Okay. So I made the Enterprise with Soul for Moon Mothers design on this, graphics on this. Okay. And you can do whole A4 pages. So you might be doing up a poster, and that's just one I use a bit as a promotional thing for some of my other work. So there's all sorts of things you can do with this, and all you have to do when you've done it is save it here, File, Save Design, and then you download it, and then it's yours to keep, and you can get it printed or you can email it around to people, whatever you want. So these things are really handy to have. I'm just going to stop sharing that screen. Hang on. And I'll get up MailChimp. Have you heard of MailChimp?
Yeah, I wanted to find out about MailChimp.
Do you use it?
No, I wanted to ask you about it. I've been waiting for you to talk about MailChimp.
Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen and get MailChimp up. Hang on. MailChimp is like you can do newsletters, you can store a lot of data with people's emails, how often they open their newsletters, what links they click on. I'm going to log into my account. What do you want to know about it, Tamara?
Well, what I'm hoping to do in the next couple of months is to start sending out newsletters, like just to get the newsletter list, like the email list going in the newsletters. So I just want to know all about it.
Okay. So each of these websites, including YouTube and Zoom, MailChimp, Canva, they have tutorials on them so that you can, before you join it, you can look at the tutorials, because it would take me a while to go through all that. But when you join up, you can do it for free, and that gives you quite a bit of things that you can do for free. I have a membership one because I do a lot more than that. I do automated emails and all sorts of things. You can make your own templates. So here's some of mine here. So that you've got your own banner and your own look for it instead of it just being plain words. I think you've all received some of my emails, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
So I've just changed the banner on it to look like that. So I just designed this one the other day this is just for my LinkedIn people. So because there's men and women on it, so I'm sending them, the people on my LinkedIn and other business platforms. I've got probably almost as many men as women on that, so I do ones that interest men as well. So that's an article that I've done about, how can a man be helpful during menopause. But what's interesting is you can make this banner anything you like, this thing up the top, and you can put your own content in. You can design it how you like, okay? But I wouldn't advise putting too many images on it, Tamara, because you've got to remember that they're going to be opening up in mobile phones and mobile devices as well as laptops and desktops. And if you've got many photos, I think one image up the top's enough. If you've got many photos, it can take a long time for them to download and people will just click off.
Yeah.
Is
there a font size you recommend that would or you're saying just like one photo, very simple, if people are opening it up in mobiles?
These MailChimp is integrated for mobiles devices, so it'll sort it out as to how it looks on your mobile phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have a recommendation for a font. It's a personal thing, but I wouldn't make it too big. I'd say, you know, like Arial 12 or something like that,
So
or
just normal.
Verdana 12.
Yeah.
12's enough. But here we go, like this is just, there's hardly any in this list, but when I sent them the email, 10 of them opened it, and there's only 18 on this one, so that's pretty good, and one bounced. I should get a better. I've got a lot of lists. I've got thousands of people in my lists. I'll find another campaign that went to a few more people. Because you can find out lots of good stuff on this. So Wisdom Keepers Circle, that's a small group, but it's a very consistent group in that they, at least half of them usually open it. So here's an email that went to my older ladies, and it's very, so you can see it's very simple, and it just takes people to where you want them to go, and you know, they can click on that, see a 2-minute video about a free webinar. So I sent them this email to tell them that a webinar I was doing with Viv was coming up and it was for free. Okay, so there were 45% clicks on that, which is very good. So you can do a lot. I would suggest, Viv, were you able to put the MailChimp URL in on the chat box?
Yes, I've done that with the notes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would suggest you have a look at the MailChimp tutorials, because all of these things can look a bit overwhelming when you start, but you soon get the hang of them. Like I say, if I can do them, anyone can do them. So, and the only thing that will be stopping you doing things like this is your mindset.
I agree.
Can I ask just a question about that? Like for when I could do the statistics, and it's like 45% have opened it and 20% have clicked on the links and all that kind of stuff. Does it give you, like, can you look at, if you look at the list of who you've sent it out to?
Yes, yes. I won't open the list here because there's people's privacy at stake. But yes, you can find out what pages they clicked through to.
You can,
okay, and how long they stayed on there. You can find out who's unsubscribed. I don't get many unsubscribed because I always ask people's permission to put them on. Okay. So you never put anyone on your email list who doesn't give their permission.
But by giving you, like, I'm going to get like a sign up sheet going when I'm going to bring markets. And so by, like, that's their permission, isn't it? Like by giving me their email, that's their permission.
Yes, but I think it's good to say, you know, to give them something for free, okay, and to say, you know, sign up here and you'll get this free whatever, ebook or video or whatever. You might do your video interview, your video chat with someone about what you do, and that'll be maybe a free video for them, or you might do an ebook, okay, and then you'll say, and receive our news. So that they know.
Right.
But most people these days realise if they opt in for something, they're going to be getting a newsletter.
Yeah.
And MailChimp has an opt-out, an easy opt-out thing, unsubscribe, and they all have to have these. So MailChimp isn't the only one. There's Infusionsoft, there's at least half a dozen really good ones you can use for free.
I use ActiveCampaign. I don't know if it's free. Oh, yeah, I think for a certain level it's free. So that's it. They're always going to buy in for a certain amount. There's been a lot of chat, Wendy, in the discussion.
Yes.
So, because Ruth asked about how to create a website. So I've been sharing that I like Wix.com, and I've given an example of my website. and whether it's easier than WordPress. What's your website, Wendy, that you use?
Mine are all WordPress.
Right.
Yeah, and I wouldn't start with that if you don't know much about Word. Mine are very complex sites. So if you want a web designer, I'll put you on to someone who does my stuff. But Wix or Weebly.com, W-E-E-B, do you want to put those on there too? Weebly.com. They're all drag and drop,
And
quite a bit easier.
yeah, they have some nice graphics and setup. I actually personally, I started with Weebly and done quite a few, and I've changed over to Wix, and I wouldn't go. I have a Weebly site, and I won't restart with that. Yeah, but Wix is the one I'd recommend out of the two.
If I was doing just a site just for information purposes, I'd probably use Wix or Weebly. But because my sites are what's called e-commerce sites, meaning you have financial transactions on them, I go with WordPress because they have probably about the best e-commerce. Yeah. But if you're just doing it just to tell people, that's fine.
They have Wix has shops and everything built into it, and connections with PayPal and all sorts. So
yeah,
how you compare the two. I just found I do lots of online stuff, and I just found WordPress. I've used it years ago and come back to it, and personally I find it really frustrating. I don't see it as intuitive. It seems to block me all the time. However, there are thousands of people who use WordPress, so there must be something going for it.
WordPress is probably the most popular one for a serious website. So there's things you can do in the WordPress e-commerce thing that you can't do in Wix or Weebly and stuff like that. So, because I've looked through them all. But if you're just doing a site just to tell people what you're doing, go for the Wix one. That's all you need to do at the moment. You don't even have to have a shop. You can have you can have Shopify on Facebook if you want to sell stuff. Have you heard of Shopify?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so you gals are of a certain age that there is no excuse not to be much more familiar with online stuff than I am. I think it was Rupert Murdoch. Who did we decide it was? Rupert Murdoch or Kerry Packer or someone who said digitalise or die. It is the case. The days of just doing handouts and flyers and that, they're pretty, as an only thing, over. And doing a mixture of both online and just going out and talking to people and face-to-face stuff. There's no replacement for face-to-face, direct communication. There's nothing better than that. Most of my clinical practice is word of mouth. So word of mouth is going to be a good thing, but one of the ways of getting that around is through online as well as offline. What were the other questions in the chat box?
Okay, so and just aware it's 9:06.
Okay, we'll hop off in a minute.
And so the other questions were, Tash asked, do you recommend using graphic designer in the beginning when creating your business look?
Look, it just depends on your finances, Tash, and what you're planning to do. If you're planning to have a corporate look, I would probably go with a good designer to start with. But if you're just wanting to put up, say, a page that tells people about what you do, you can probably get away with doing your own images. Yeah. You're muted, Tash. Can't hear you.
So when I said hello before, nobody heard me, right?
No, that's right.
was like, oh, where is he? I've been like talking away every now and then. Okay. That's what I was saying is that like I would do it from a business perspective, like from like doing my Chinese medicine stuff as well as the Moon Mother stuff. So that's why I was thinking like maybe I would probably need a graphic designer for like a logo or I don't know, something.
Yes, well, you might need to have a different logo to your TCM stuff than you do to the Moon Mothers.
Yeah, they don't really gel, do they?
And you can get logos from Miranda.
Yeah.
So if you email her, she will send you an image.
Yeah.
Last I heard. Yeah.
There's images on
Sorry?
There's images on the Wound Blessing site if you log on to the Moon Mothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few on there. You just got to pick the right one.
Yeah.
And that's all you need for the Moon Mothers one. Legally, you shouldn't make your own for Moon Mothers.
Oh no, it wasn't about that one. It was about the Chinese medicine. That's what I was.
Yeah, I think you'll need a different look for your clinic than you will for Moon Mothers. Doesn't mean they can't be in the same place, but
yeah,
it'll be a different look.
Yeah.
I'll email you a page that I've also got a couple of websites where I get, and so does Viv, we both get images that we use for our Facebook posts and online stuff. They've got free, royalty-free images, meaning royalty-free means you're allowed to use it without obtaining permission. Your photo of yourself too, yeah, I agree. Oh, Pixabay and Pexels, PEX. And I'll send that to you. And I've also got on that same document, I've got a website where you can, web page where you can go to find out about how you can do online newsletter design, newsletter and ebooks design. So there's a fair bit of information in this tonight as the other nights, and that's so that you can just keep, don't worry about if you don't take it all in tonight, you can keep going back over it. Ruth, if you're happy for us to, we'll send your page to the others. Your page.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And you, if you're having a mastermind group soon, you can get that up and talk about what we talked about with the intention. Okay, and Ruth's done quite a good avatar. How does that? So that'll give you some enterprise tasks to do in between. So if you can have a play and do video live chat with you and then compare it and do one for each of you, that'll get you started on your marketing.
It's a daunting thought right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I get nervous.
Well, just pick one thing, and if you can help each other out with just interviewing interviewing each other on a video, I think you'll get used to it quite quickly. I know I found it daunting to start with, so but you do get used to it. And just remember, this old dinosaur can do it, so can you. So that better do us for tonight. A great way to sell photos. What?
Yeah, that's a different thing. Well, Ruth said, can I sell my photos? I love taking photos. Redbubble allows you to upload photos and they turn them into pillows and coffee cups and all sorts of different things, clothing.
No.
That's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, we won't go there. There's a few sites like that. That's all good. Very enterprising. So, and Carolyn, because you've already done one Moon Mother thing, haven't you?
One. With Ruth.
How many?
Oh, Ruth was there. Sorry, Ruth came along and we.
So have you had a chance to get together for a mastermind group and go through a lot of what you've been doing and what you think might work and what you think won't?
We missed last week because we were all very tired. Everyone.
Yeah.
we did a mastermind a couple of weeks ago, so we're due for another one.
Mm-hmm.
But Tamara's planning her first group, and I
Oh,
should.
good, eh?
For December 3rd. And well, it's changing a bit in some capacity. Like I still feel like I want to get the newsletter set up first and get more people understanding it. So I'm it's changing. Right now I'm aiming to do it on December 3rd.
Just put a date down and just do it.
Well,
and if you get one person coming, that's good.
It might, when I'm looking at the cost of insurance and the cost of renting the room and the cost of then catering it, I need more than one person coming. And
why don't you do it at home?
Home's not an option right now. I've tried them at home, and no.
Is there someone else's home you can do it at?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Just keep it really simple.
I've done the simple. I kind of feel like I'm ready to expand a little bit, and I know where I want to hold it. I feel like the next step is like there's a chance that I might be able to hold sort of a mini one that day at a market that is the space that I want to hold it at, and then that's starting to feel like an interesting possibility. So, but I need people. Like I feel like.
Well, what about if you utilise your mastermind group to make your upcoming event something you all focus on, so you all learn something about it, and you all help it get off the ground. So, and then you can take what you've learnt away and use it for your own, because you're all going to learn something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an idea?
We can do that next week.
And so someone might interview you. One of you might interview Tamara about it and say, tell us about this thing you're planning and what's it all about, and, a really nice chat about it for 2 or 3 minutes, and use that as part of your promotional thing.
Yeah.
So,
I appreciate it.
well, you've got a really good opportunity to make a working case out of something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll leave you to it, ladies.
Thanks.
Doing good. Minute by minute. Just remember you got it all to go back to, and just do bit at a time. Thank you, Viv, for your help today.
That's all right, my pleasure.
I think if you use simple platforms like Zoom, you'll soon get the hang of it. Yeah. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks, and I'll send you an email with some things in it as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You too.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Night.
Can you stay on a minute, Viv?
Sure can.
Yeah. See you, ladies.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a lovely evening. See you in a fortnight.
Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Good night. Oops. Meeting.
Is there just us now?